Hello, Keith. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello there. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Thank you for trusting you with your project. We've been working since pretty much the early September on this, and so you've already met your students. I'm not going to talk very much because I want them to be very much in charge of all of that. Uh, Very, very exciting to see what you're going to think of what they have to propose today. And so whenever you're ready, get started.
Get right on into it. Just really quickly, we wanted to thank you, Keith. I see Cheryl is also in here. We wanted to thank the both of you for allowing us and giving us this opportunity to go ahead and try and help your business scale to another level. This was exciting for all of us because it was a project in which we got to use all of the tools that we learned through our college careers and actually get an opportunity to use them in the real world. Really quickly, just you've met all of us in person once before, but just give you one more reminder, these are all the people who were a part of this, and we all had a say and idea and brainstorming into coming up with this recommendation that we believe will help you guys moving forward. Um, Moving forward, the honey industry has been around for centuries. This is a known fact. However, the biggest change in the market through time was very minuscule, in which producers of honey introduced different grades, such as raw and organic. Now, this change didn't really disrupt the market. It only separated the quality of the honey from the consumers who wish to purchase it. If we want to disrupt the market historically, changing the honey industry forever, we must unify these separated consumers by giving them a product in which not only they love, but they will prefer to have on a consistent basis. In order to do this, we must be different from the norm in which mainstream producers of honey are pursuing. And not only should we be different, we should be better than the competition already taking the steps forward in bringing about a change to the culture of honey. Now, when we first started doing research in September, it was kind of troubling figuring out one single recommendation that could not only increase your profits, but increase traffic into your location, as well as increase traffic and more people coming and being a part of your classes. As you said, having more people come to those classes was a priority for you. We didn't want to give a recommendation that would change who you are as a person and say, be a social media celebrity, go get people on social media. We really love the fact that you are passionate, educated, and have experience when it comes to honey. We wanted to build something around that. Now, we ran into a few problems in the market, which were that consumers weren't purchasing as much honey as they should be. Like I said earlier, the honey industry had not really changed much in recent history, let alone in history. And consumers didn't really find honey as exciting as other options available to them. Now, the main question was, how do we fix that? Tim, you're still muted.
Thank you, Jason. Throughout the process of our research, we looked at dozens of companies across several industries in order to uncover what is currently being done to reinvigorate different product categories. The companies I will cover on the next 4 slides have been truly disruptive within their industries and have gone on to be worth millions of dollars. Our research of market disrupting products has led us to create this very exciting plan for the Valley Hive. We came across some interesting trends that, if applied to the honey industry, could be very powerful disruptors, as well as make for very profitable ventures. You may notice the following 4 examples all point in one direction. We will begin with White Claw hard seltzer beverages, the dominant brand in the hard seltzer industry by a large margin. By combining enticing flavors, unique packaging, and effective marketing, White Claw has not only taken the hard seltzer industry by storm, but also the alcohol industry as a whole in recent years. Next, Talking Rain brand's Sparkling Ice stands out due to their irresistible flavors and the vibrant colors of their beverages, a true disruptor and innovator within the bottled water industry. That brings me to the whiskey industry, where flavored whiskey dates back to the 70s and probably earlier. But when Red Stag cherry flavored whiskey was released in 2009, the proverbial dam broke, giving way to a very strong subsector within the whiskey industry. You can now find many very popular flavored whiskeys, including cherry, vanilla, cinnamon, and honey. And finally, we have Juul. Once again, the e-cigarette was no new thing when Juul launched in 2015, but their enticing flavors and sleek packaging helped them to rise to great heights and exceptional value. So what does all this mean for the Valley Hive then? Well, please allow me to discuss our objectives derived from the opportunities we have found that will help you reinvent your business. Our first objective is to develop a new product line for the Valley Hive. Our research indicates that an innovative new product line would not only grow the Valley Hive's profits, but also set you up as trendsetters within a currently small but growing sector within the honey industry. Not only would this increase the Valley Hive's profits from honey sales, but it could also act as a driver to increase attendance at your in-person and online classes. By developing a new line of flavor-infused honey by the Valley Hive, you would be providing a convenient, renewed, and exciting way for many people to enjoy honey, and perhaps even a way for those who would normally otherwise not consume honey to enjoy it. In the beginning, specific target markets will need to be identified to begin properly and effectively selling the Valley Hive products and building a strong reputation for the new flavored honey product line. Throughout our research, we have established different phases for different target markets, which we will discuss in more detail later. Now, the main opportunities we have identified throughout the course of our research are that there are currently increased demand for natural sweeteners due to health, mostly due to health concerns. Honey's antimicrobial and antiviral properties are very attractive given the circumstances surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. And finally, if you think back to examples of disruptive products made by Jewel, Talking Rain, White Claw, and Red Stag, it is clear that consumer taste preferences are changing and new trends are coming to life with great frequency. It is important to get ahead of the curve and take advantage of opportunities when they are presented. For this opportunity, the time is now. Like I said before, the current market for flavored honey is quite small, but it is growing by the weeks. Here is Jason again with some more details about the current competitive landscape of the flavored honey market.
Thank you, Tim. As Tim just said, the opportunity is now. We have found, based off of our research, and we do believe that the honey industry is going to be going in the direction of flavor-infused honey. And we do believe, inevitably, that if you guys aren't to add this to your product list now, inevitably you will be doing it in the future. And we would prefer for you guys to be innovators rather than followers, allowing you to be the ones that penetrate the market and build brand recognition off of the bat before others do. Now, we are presenting these competitors not to scare you, but to give you an idea of why the opportunity is successful now and how you guys should be jumping on this as soon as possible. Honey Pacifica focuses solely on brick and mortar locations such as grocery stores as Whole Food, where their products can be found. Streamland Honey is driving traffic to their websites where they primarily sell their honey there. Mike's Hot Honey, which is the most dominant force in the honey industry right now, is primarily selling on Amazon, where they're doing phenomenally well. Black Hills Honey is relatively new. We found them towards the end of our research on Amazon, and they're starting, but they're doing very well. They're beginning to get reviews, and they're all very positive, so they're moving in the right direction. Busy Bees, we found by advertisements that the algorithm, while we've been doing research, has targeted towards us, and what they're doing is interesting because they have flavor-infused honey, as well as having CBD-infused honey. Moving on to the next slide is going to be honey sellers that we have found on Etsy. There's two important things when it comes to this. What didn't come to our surprise, we weren't really surprised at all, is that it's doing very well. People have tens of thousands of reviews, and they're selling it in different sizes, from 5 ounces to 8 ounces to 12 ounces, and different price ranges as well. What was surprising to us is that the flavors aren't exciting. These aren't really flavors that you look at and you say, wow, this is something that I would crave. This is something that I prefer. It's not a flavor that you love, such as lavender infused or mugwort rose or even dragon fruit. The two interesting ones were vanilla bean and coffee bean. So when we think of infused honey and the success somebody has had, Mike's Hot Honey is the one that we found that has done phenomenally well, as I said previously. It's important for me to bring to you that 10 years ago, Mike's Hot Honey wasn't a honey company. They were a local pizzeria in which they created spicy honey that their customers were able to drizzle on top of their pizza. They realized the consumers absolutely loved it, and they began to pursue the honey industry. Now, well, in September, when we first began doing research and we found them, we have found that they're selling over 16,000 bottles a month, with a monthly revenue of over 165,000, having 36,000 reviews and having a 4.7 out of 5 stars. It's very crucial for us to say that they started off as a pizzeria, but pizza is no longer a priority. And these people weren't masters or knowledgeable in honey. They don't have the level of expertise that you have. So we do believe that you have the knowledge, you have the passion, you have experience in which we know you can do better than Mike's Hot Honey. Now, after we realized that infusing flavored honey would be a great recommendation to give you, we decided to do some qualitative research. The first one being we had conducted interviews with people we knew one-on-one, asking them a set of questions in which we could get emotional value from flavors. What flavors take people back to a point in time that they know, love, and remember? What flavors are these ones that they prefer? Some of them that we found interesting was chocolate. It reminded people of trick-or-treating as a child. It took them back to that place in time, and it gave them a surreal feeling every time they do bite into a bar of chocolate. Blueberry reminds people of their mother's or grandmother's fresh baked treats. Strawberry reminded everybody of their favorite childhood snack, which was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Spice or spicy reminds people of their cultural foods, of their family, of the places that they come from. Now, I have a question for you, Keith. Is there a way you can immediately increase the flavor profile or flavor preference of your honey from anywhere of 5 to 20, maybe even 50%?
Yeah, so there's a lot of this that we already do. We have our cacao honey line, so that would be like the chocolate, and so yeah, these are like we do have a hot honey as well. Admittedly, it's not nearly as sexy as or packaged probably as effectively as Mike's hot honey. But this is known in the beekeeping industry as value-added products. And a lot more beekeepers are going into this type of thing because of the depression of wholesale honey prices in the United States due to extraordinarily cheap honey being imported by China at custom levels that have been even below that of water. And so it's been impossible for beekeepers to compete on that level. And so they've had to go to value-added products kind of like this, including mead. Meaderies are coming back with a vengeance. But I'm really impressed. There's quite a few things in here that I did not know about, such as the mugwort or the lavender. I did not. Also, I'm really impressed with you guys actually doing some flavor surveys and regarding the blueberry and the grapes and et cetera, and what it reminded people of. So no, this is all good. And this is something that we could scale pretty effectively. And we do have access to kitchens that could make this for us. So yeah, it is tangible.
You were saying, it's not as sexy as Mike's Hot Honey, and you brought in the Chinese honey, such as like 99-cent store honey. And in the next slide, we'll be going into something that will give you a little bit of a better idea of, yes, 99-cent store honey is cheaper, but we decided to do a blind taste test as well, where if you remember, I came into your store and I asked you for the biggest jar of honey that's the most plain and simple flavor that you have. Not only did I grab that, but I purchased organic flavor extract online. And this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I am a rookie when it comes to this, but the findings were very interesting. Not only do people like flavor infused honey, something very important was that we also tested cheap 99-cent store honey. And that was not favored at all. People do know the difference when it comes to the flavor profile and the taste test. They're not a fan of it. In fact, when we did the blind taste test out of a scale of 1 to 5, people said that the 99-cent store honey was very sugary. It doesn't taste like real honey. It was ranked at a 1.5 out of 5. The Valley Hive wildflower honey, plain, regular, without any flavor extracts, was a 2.9. People said that it was a little too sweet for them. It was overwhelming to the palate. However, when I decided to extract flavors and mix them in, and it took only a couple hours for me to find where it was right, where the taste was right. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. But the apple got a 3.25, in which people said it reminds them of apple juice as they were a child, and it took them back to that. Chocolate extracted flavor got a 3.4. People said they loved the tangy chocolate flavor with the sweetness of the honey. And coffee, got a 3.6. People said the bitter combination with the sweetness of the honey was just phenomenal. In fact, somebody took it from me and they took it home because they were so in love with it. Strawberry extract was ranked the second highest at a 3.75. People said that this is what they see as the alternative and what will take over preservatives, because not only does it taste better, it's better for them. It doesn't have that preservative sugar. It is natural. Raspberry, which was the favorite of them all, ranked out of a 4 of 5. It reminded people of candy. They were just absolutely obsessed with it. Nobody could just try it once. They had to try it twice, 3 times. Now, what was interesting was the lowest of the flavor extracts was a 7% increase in flavor preference, and the highest, which was the raspberry, was a 22% increase in flavor preference. It was easy and it was immediate, and the people loved it. In fact, it was your honey at the end, so it's doable. Now that you know the flavors that we decided and we loved, we picked, we tried, we tested, we decided to create and find a target market for you. We created personas in which would give you an easy, comfortable understanding of not just who, but most importantly, why we're going to be targeting these specific people and these groups with specific flavors. First one is going to be Jennifer. We're going to be targeting her with coffee and habanero flavored honey. We're not going to focus too much on who, but we're going to focus on why, as to we feel that is the most important. Now, why Jennifer? 66% of women drink coffee every single day. Roughly 69% of the people who drink coffee every day drink that for its irresistible flavor. And the most crucial role Jennifer is going to play in this is that 80% of mothers say they're not the only member of the family who prepares meals, but they're the ones who go out and are the primary grocery shoppers as well. They're going to be the ones who pick and make what their families will be having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's why it's so important for us to get this product to her first. Now, she also has the ability to influence other mothers who share these same responsibilities and have them go and find these products and prepare the same meals for their families as well. The second persona we created for you is going to be Michael and his friends. We're going to be targeting strawberry flavored honey as well as raspberry flavored honey for them. Once again, not going to focus too much on who, but why. 75% of kids say that they have 2 to 3 snacks a day. Over 53% of children prefer and say that strawberry fruit is their favorite fruit flavor. Now, for Michael, the most critical role, they're going to be Michael and his friends, the most critical role being played by them is going to be the fact that children have the ability to influence other children's eating habits in school by, sharing their food during recess and lunch. We call this the Lunchables effect. If you can remember, if you were back in the day when you were in school, you would go to recess, go to lunch, you'd see your friend having something completely new. You'd look at it and you'd be like, that looks really good. Hey, can I try some of that? You take a bite, you fall in love, you go home, you say, hey, mom, hey, dad, I had this at school today. Can you please go and get this for me so I could have it at recess and lunch? And boom, it's a chain effect after that. Now, it's also interesting to say that it's estimated that the average school child will have over 1,500 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches before they graduate school. We believe that strawberry flavored honey and raspberry flavored honey will be the alternative to this because parents are looking for a healthier option for their children, and preservatives just are not healthy anymore. They're not good. They're just full of sugar. They're not organic. They're not real. They're not natural. It's all created in a laboratory, basically. Now that you know our target market, we went ahead and created flavor profile maps. This allows the customer to see a visual of these flavors, give them a spectrum of flavors to understand whether it's more on the sweet side, more on the spicy side, whether it's more fruity or flowery. We believe this will be a tool that's going to separate your bottles and packaging from your competition. It's going to be more interesting for the customer to see it. They're going to be more willing to try it as they could see, oh, I like sweet. Oh, I like spicy. I like fruity. I like flowery. And a little bit later, you'll see how this will look on bottles and packaging. As you said, it's important for you guys to look better, look sexier, because you're not as sexy as Mike's Hot Honey now, but we have something that Tim is going to be showing you, and we believe that is sexy.
So now that you know some more about the competition, flavors, and target markets, let's talk about the bottle and label designs. Over the past several months, we came across thousands of different bottle designs for honey and other products, from plastic squeeze jars shaped like bears to standard glass jars. These 3 bottle types appear to be the best out there for the undertaking of a flavored honey product line. Bottle number 1 is used by a main competitor, Mike's Hot Honey. as well as several other honey brands. Bottle number 3 is similar to the bottles that you currently use and is one of the most common amongst honey brands out there. We do not recommend bottles 1 and 3 simply because they are too familiar. In order to signify the Valley Hive, we have chosen a hive-shaped bottle that can be further customized to best represent the shape of a beehive. While there are competitors using this type of bottle, this will be the Valley Hive's rendition. Something to set you apart from the crowd and gain more recognition for the Valley Hive brand, products, classes, and other offerings. We began by researching what is most likely to attract new customers and wanted to come up with a design that helped people to truly connect with the Valley Hive brand and the new flavored honey product line. We wanted to make sure the flavor the honey is infused with was prominently displayed in an eye-catching manner. We moved away from this particular design because the overall design is quite bulky and a simpler and sleeker design is more appealing to consumers. Here we decided to try a more compact design that represents the flavoring aspect of each of the honeys. After much deliberation over market trends, competitor designs, and consumer feedback, in order to be different and be better, this disruptive new product line must look different and look better. And that is where I bring you our final bottle design concept, adapted to 6 different flavored honeys, all bold enough to make a demanding presence in any retail location. There are very few competitors in this niche flavored honey market right now. So with a sleek design, easy to use bottle, and incredibly delicious contents, this product line has the potential to bring the Valley Hive to new heights. Finally, when it is feasible to do so, we recommend adding colored lids to match the labels on each product. We say this because it will help to add to the novelty of the products and to reinforce the brand image amongst consumers. And here we see the back of the bottle, relatively simple compared to the front. But as you can see at the bottom of the bottle, the strawberry flavor map is prominently displayed so consumers can understand the flavor spectrum of this honey. Additionally, the QR code here is different from that which is on your current products in that when scanned, instead of bringing consumers to your website homepage, it brings them directly to where they can sign up for your classes. And while we're on the topic of classes, as you branch into flavored honey more and possibly other infusions, you might consider adding flavor infusion, agriculture, and CBD infusion classes next to the current beekeeping classes that you offer. Now, in order to grow the Valley Hive's reputation, sell more honey, and get more people to attend classes, it is important to begin thinking about expanding the distribution and marketing channels for your honey. Throughout the course of our research, we determined that the Amazon and Etsy online shopping sites each have many successful honey and flavored honey brands, some with exceptional monthly sales, like that of Mike's Hot Honey. Additionally, using social media ads to promote the product line makes it much simpler to effectively target Jennifer and Michael with the flavors that they are most likely to enjoy. At this point in the presentation, I'm sure you're beginning to wonder just how much all of this will cost. And the answer is this can be done with relatively low initial investment while utilizing some of your already existing infrastructure. As you can see, based on our research, we were able to provide you with an estimated per bottle cost from beginning to end. The total seen at the bottom is around $8.66 per bottle, with an average sale price of around $12.99 and an average cost of $8.66. You can stand to see some very impressive returns when the sales start coming in. When we started our research around 3 months ago, Mike's Hot Honey had sold close to 17,000 12-ounce bottles of honey in the past 30 days. Half of that is the projection you see here for year 1 as the new product line is ramping up and gaining momentum. Nearly 8,400 sales and a profit of $36,000 per month. In this projection for year 2, the Valley Hive is selling the same amount that Mike's was selling back in September, nearly 17,000 sales per month and a profit of nearly $72,000 per year. And that brings me to projections for year 3. A 50% increase from year 2 brings us to over 25,000 sales per month and a profit of nearly $110,000 per month, if not more. You can begin this particular branch of your business relatively quickly and inexpensively. An initial investment of $15,000 is a great place to start. But why $15,000? Based on our calculation, With that amount, you'll be able to launch the 4 flavors to Jennifer and Michael. That's spicy, coffee, raspberry, and strawberry. You'll be able to make and begin distributing rather quickly and have funds allocated for marketing and advertising. With that in mind, I will close with the market penetration goals and a timeline of the way forward. So as you can see, the process starts in January of 2022 with budget and supply sourcing. The launch for the first 4 flavors would be in March of 2022. Moving into June, a launch of a 5th flavor. We have here, I know you have the cacao flavor, but we have here potentially that flavor or a different chocolate flavor. And then the 6th flavor in July of 2024. 2025, expand target markets. So right now, for the beginning few years, the main focus will be on that Jennifer and Michael. But we would like to ideally expand that to 3 or 4 target markets in 2025, 2026, trying to get into grocery chains like Whole Foods, Sprouts, and Trader Joe's, and continue expansion from there. Unmute, Jason.
Sorry about that. Before we close off our presentation and end this, we found some research that was very interesting towards us. Now, when we found out our analytics of Mike's Hot Honey, that was in September. Now that we looked at it again in December, we found that there was a 180% increase in their sales, which was they went from a little over 16,000 bottles sold a month to 47,000 bottles sold a month. And they also went from $167,000 a month to $469,000 a month in revenue. We think it's very crucial for you to understand the time is now. We want you to believe the time is now, because like I said earlier, you have knowledge, you have experience, you have passion and love for honey. These people did not have that. We're 100% confident in the fact that you can be better than Mike's Hot Honey, and you can be a force to be reckoned with in this industry. Once again, we just wanted to thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this. We all had an amazing time working together. We all were very interested, very dedicated from the beginning to the end. Now we just want to know, do you have any questions for us?
Well, I am very impressed with what you guys put together. Very thoughtful. Not at all what I was expecting. And you've really given me a lot to think about. I'm pretty blown away. There's a lot of factors into what we do. Right now we have a honey crisis in the United States. Back in the 70s and 80s, you'd have 80% of the honey sold in the US was domestic and 20% was imported. And today those numbers are the exact opposite. And so the number one issue is that I wasn't able to do the math quick enough, but exactly where and how am I going to produce that much honey in a drought? I need to also, if I'm going to buy that type of honey, how do I not forego my ethos and make sure that it's domestically produced and it's not basically rice syrup that has flavoring in it? How do we know? And so your projection of my cost being $1.88 for honey in a given bottle is extraordinarily optimistic. I think it's going to be more toward $3 to $4 if I'm going to make sure that it is pure honey. And unfortunately, because the public is ignorant, and because another unfortunate fact, the laws regarding what can be called honey is really not enforced that much at all. Just like the term organic basically means nothing except a marketing ploy in this country. The only country that has anything with any teeth in it, I think, is Brazil. But over here, anybody who says they're getting organic food they're lying to themselves. There's no such thing as organic anything. There is no, it's just this fake industry. But with that said, and with that challenge in mind, I think that your numbers in terms of I was blown away at your at your flavor ratings. I've never even thought to do that. That's really, really smart. And immediately I could put these flavors in the shop. And you're right, I could do this relatively easy. Could start getting product in a month, basically. I really like the bottle designs as well. What did you think, Cheryl, in terms of the bottle designs? Because I kind of like the see-through plastic in that, and that they could actually see the product. We've stayed away from plastic as a matter of principle, just because, plastic and everything that is associated with we find that the public that we deal with doesn't like plastic, and we wanted to make sure that the we ship honey in glass, which is a little painstaking, but we do it because we really want to appear to be higher end. We really do think that honey is inherently special and deserves the glass, but it does have its disadvantage, and to have something that is really nice and easy with a squeeze bottle like that is kind of cool. Was wondering if you guys, we're having problems getting to land any kind of packaging. And so did you source this like locally? Like, is this something that I could pick up a general bottle? Is this a universal bottle you found, or?
We did look on SKS bottles. Like everything else, it's very hard to get your hands on things. However, I'm sure with this specific bottle, it would be somewhat custom, because we do prefer the Hive to have a lot more rigid ends and look like a hive to represent the Valley Hive. We don't want it to be like, I'm sure you've seen them where you look at the bottle and you kind of think to yourself, like, this doesn't even look like a hive. It doesn't give that emotional value of, reminds people like, this is a hive that I would see in cartoons. This isn't what I would think of as a hive. SKS, like everywhere else, like I was saying, is out of stock on a lot of things with what's going on in the world. But I do think that, it's always worth trying for. The thing about a plastic bottle, especially with these specific caps, is that it allows people to flip them over, make it easier to squeeze it out. We're also targeting Michael and his friends, which are 6 to 9 year olds. They're kids. If they end up wanting to make something themselves, it's a glass jar is a lot more difficult compared to a plastic bottle where they could just pop it, squeeze it, drizzle it on, and go on with their day. Or Jennifer, as a mother, just makes it way more easier for her to get stuff out on for her kids, pack it up, and just ready to go to school.
All great points. I can't debate with any one of those points. It's very, very good. And I didn't, like I said, this is the first time I'm seeing a bottle quite like this. Did you go into the weeds so much as to discover what kind of plastic it was and whether or not it was recyclable?
We did not get
okay.
to the point. We were focusing more so on the design, making sure it has a higher quality look. It looks different from the competition, because the whole point is we want to be different. We want to be better. We want it to look better. We want the bottle, not only on the front, but on the back, give it a higher quality value. That way people are willing to, one, want to try it, and two, willing to pay for it, which is the one thing, when you're looking at a shelf and Honey Pacifica, for example, it's not so exciting. When we first all saw this, once Tim made it, even our professor he was blown away. He's like, this is amazing. It looks amazing. It's great on the eye. It gets you excited front and back.
Dude, no, I did. I really, really like the way it looks. Can you go back to the slide again when you had the price breakdown for the bottles and everything? I want to look at that again, because man, let me tell you something. Labeling stuff, it is such a okay, so I'm going to talk to my office manager to the side here.
Also, I want to point out that these are 12-ounce bottles. And if we looked at the Etsy slides, or even, you know, sales on Amazon, a lot of them are 5 and 8 ounce bottles. Some of them are selling for $17. So the price for you to sell it at is really, that's up to you. So, you know, even if the cost is a lot higher for you to make, 5 ounce bottles, 8 ounce bottles going from 12 to $18, you do have wiggle room when it comes to pricing this. Especially, it's going to look better, more than likely, with your expertise and knowledge. It's going to taste better. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree. And yes, I mean, at $8.66 a bottle, I would probably put that more than $19.99 price point, if I'm using real honey, to be quite frank. So no, this, yeah, that's really great. That's really good work you guys did. I think this would have a chance to really take off. And I think it's more of the much bigger challenge on my end would be to basically try to find a way to handle that type of volume. I don't think I could do that here. I'd have to find a professional kitchen and have a new shipping dock and everything else to try to do that. But it's all very feasible. It's more than feasible.
one of the good things, we were recommending one of the distribution channels to be Amazon, because once everything is bottled and packaged and you have a UPC code on it, more so you're going to be able to fulfill by Amazon, where you're going to be able to run your ads there. You send it to a fulfillment center. You don't really need to hold on to all your product in one specific place. Etsy, which if you could go to the Etsy slides one more time, Etsy's a little different. You're going to have to sell that yourself. However, the cool thing about Etsy is, like I was saying, it's different sizes at different prices. Like someone is selling an 8 ounce bottle for $17, and they have almost 26,000 reviews. So the opportunity for success is there. You kind of just have to take it at this point.
Okay, I'm just jumping in. I'm sorry, because we have another client in 2 minutes.
Yes, of course, guys. Thank you so much. Any way that I can get a copy of
Yes, I will make sure you get a copy of the video and all of this, and the students can always stay in touch with you, because many of my students get interned sometimes by the client, because the client says, you know what, I really love the idea. I mean, I have so many clients that started with 100,000. I have one that started with 100,000 and he made $40 million. And he obviously hired one of the students, and we had a client just before you, and he's already hired one student, and he came back for another consulting, and he's probably going to hire another one. So it's a relationship. We're trying to build a value to the community, and so that's really what this is about. So I will make sure you have a copy. I will and come back, ask me questions. If there's anything else that you want us to work on, we'll be very happy. But as you can see, these are ambitious things, but we feel that the opportunity is there, and we hope that you grab it, because it's moving fast. It's moving really fast.
Well, for the record, I am very impressed, and thank you so much for taking the time and for sending your students this way. And I'll get all of them into a Hive soon enough. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
And we will be in touch. Thank you
again. Thank you for your trust. Thank you very much.